So you guys, it's officially official. Jennifer Lopez filed for divorce yesterday from Ben Affleck. Now we've been talking about this for months. This is not a surprising news for any of us. We have been hearing that these two have been separated for months. We have seen the headlines. We have seen all the information. So this is not a surprise to us. And I'm going to link all the videos that I have been doing on Jennifer Lopez. We've been talking about her and Ben for months. We're not the only ones, but I think we add some extra nuance and in-depth understanding of human nature to our videos. So you might want to check those out. But I wanted to make a video because what came as a surprise is how it was done. Jennifer Lopez filed for divorce pro per, which means she filed herself without a lawyer. Now, my first thought was, if there's anybody who is qualified and has the experience to file for divorce for herself, it's Jennifer Lopez. This is not her first time at the rodeo. JLo has probably spent millions, tens of millions of dollars over the years on lawyers filing for divorce from all her different husbands. So at this point, JLo should have enough experience to be like, you know what, I got this. I got it. I don't need help. Yeah, I know. We're going to file this paper. We're going to file number so and so and so. This is where we sign. And then when I send it to him, he's going to sign here. And this is what we're going to. She knows what she's doing. And if she can save some money, that makes sense. But there is something about the way in which she did it that tells me that JLo is on a warpath. That what we had assumed were peaceful negotiations going on in the background. That the reason why, even though they had separated, they hadn't made any official announcement is because they were peacefully working their situations out in mediation with their different lawyers, and they were just going through all the paperwork. They weren't married for long, so we assumed that there wasn't a lot of property to be divided. Aside from their $60 million mansion that they bought together, I believe last year, there was really no assets that they shared amongst themselves. There's some work stuff that had to be ironed out. Ben Affleck has a production company, and he helped produce some of JLo's projects, her recent projects. The movie that she did, This Is Me Now, with the accompanying documentary, The Greatest Love Story Never Told. I believe that his production company produced both of those films. He also produced a film that is coming out in September that's starring Jennifer. So aside from those business dealings and the house, there was really not much to be divided and ironed out between these two very wealthy people. So it was my understanding that they were waiting for the big house to sell. And when that happened, they could go ahead and announce the divorce. That's what we were all thinking. But the fact that Jennifer filed by herself on the exact date of their second wedding anniversary, these are alarming signs. Remember the last video I made where we talked about how JLo had this big 55th birthday party for herself, this Bridgerton themed party, that Ben wasn't there, that I believe with all my heart that she was hoping against hope that he would show up, knowing how important this was, how big of a celebration this was for her, that all her friends or family were going to be there, and that the fact that he was not there, that was kind of like the last nail on the coffin of that marriage. That's when she realized he just doesn't care. He just doesn't care. I have a feeling that yesterday, when it was their anniversary, Jennifer was hoping that he would at least acknowledge the date. He would text her, he would call her, something that would say, remember 2 years ago where we were today? Or something, some kind of a sign. Instead, yesterday we got photos of Ben coming back from New England with his ex-wife, Freudian slip, his ex-wife Jennifer Garner, and their child Finn, looking happy. There were photos that were released. They were dropping off their firstborn, Violet. She's going to college, she's going to university, and they had a family trip where they went to drop her off. And when you look at the video footage and you see the photos, Ben, Jen, and their kids just look like a family. Not like two divorced parents who are co-parenting peacefully. It just looked like a married couple spending time with their children. They looked comfortable. They looked happy. Ben was smiling a kind of smile that we've never really seen him have with Jennifer. When he was with Jennifer, at most we would get a grimace from him or a smirk. But it was never this from the guts kind of smiling. He looked at home with his family. And seeing those photos of him disembarking from the plane with his ex-wife and his child, and this is an aside, and I may be reaching here, but there was this woman, I saw the photos put by the Daily Mail, and there was this woman who was there on the tarmac. I don't think she got off the plane with them. It seems like she went to greet them at the tarmac, and we don't know who this person is. And there was something about the way the paper described her. They said there was this unidentified woman who was wearing these Jenny from the Block hoops. First of all, Jennifer Lopez did not invent hoops. Stop that. But the way they described her, the way they chose that to describe her, journalists sometimes, and I use journalists loosely because it is the Daily Mail, we don't really respect that publication, but sometimes reporters, journalists, they know something, they don't have the permission to say it yet, but they will drop little hints like that. And when I saw this woman, she doesn't really look like any of the women he has dated before. But I don't know. Has Ben moved on already? And the fact that those photos came out, that it was the anniversary, that he probably didn't acknowledge her, he didn't call her, that he was just coming back from a vacation where he looked so happy and at peace with his family. I think all these things came together. And Jennifer said, I'm done. I'm done hoping and waiting for something to change, waiting for there to be a miraculous change, waiting for there to be a surprise call or text from Ben saying, let's try this one more time. Jennifer has really been trying down to the wire. Ben's birthday was sometime last week. And Jennifer, even though he didn't go to her birthday party, she went to his house on his birthday. I believe to maybe wish him a happy birthday. She also picked up his son, Samuel. She took him shopping. She brought him back. She went in. She said hello. I think she's been really holding out. And she has finally come to accept it's over. And there is an anger that I sense in this filing by herself. There was no prenup. And knowing Jennifer, of course there was no prenup. She really believed that this was going to be her forever love. Remember, she rekindled her relationship with Ben, coming towards the end of her relationship with A-Rod, which I believe is the perfect man for her. Watch the video. I think they are perfect for each other. But it was towards the painful end of that relationship that Ben infiltrated into her life. He started sending her emails, started sending her these love letters, telling her that he wanted to come back, that he wanted a second chance. And he would sign the letters, according to her, with the words, not going anywhere. Don't worry, baby. I know I bolted the first time, but this time I am here. I'm not going anywhere. I want to stay with you forever. We have both grown up. We've had our chances to have families with other people. We made it through that. We've come back to each other. This time it's forever. So of course, JLo, being the hopeless, childish romantic that she is, she said, sure, no problem. No prenup needed. Now, do I believe that that's some kind of a mistake, that now Ben is going to come for her money? I don't think so. I really don't believe so. Yes, she is wealthier than Ben by about 3 times wealthier than him. But I really don't believe that he's going to come after her money. After all, he's still very wealthy. He's believed to be worth about $150 million. He just bought himself a $20 million bachelor pad. He doesn't need her money. And I really think that Ben just wants to be done with this. His actions from the moment, and by the way, JLo named the date of separation as April 26th of this year, I believe. So they've been separated for a while. He's the one who left their marital home. He's the one who then went and rented a $100,000 a month rental closer to Jen Garner and the children. So throughout this entire thing, Ben has always gotten what he wanted. Jennifer moved her children cross country to be close to him because he made it very clear to her, oh, we're not going to move my children to New York. We're not going to do that, or to Miami, wherever it is that she lived. I'm not going to do that. Their mom is here. I want them to stay closer to their mother. We're not going to change schools for them. So if you want to be with me, this is how it's going to be. So Jennifer had to move her children, take them out of their school, away from their father, so that she could be close to him. I mentioned in one of the earliest videos I made that after they eloped in Las Vegas and they went for this impromptu honeymoon in Europe, it was too much for him. He was clearly overwhelmed. JLo enjoyed going on these strolls, these afternoon strolls, knowing that they're going to be swarmed by tourists and paparazzi. And she looked like she was in heaven, and, hair and makeup and wardrobe done perfectly. And Ben just looked so uncomfortable. So after a while, he just left her. He left her at the honeymoon and went back to the United States. There's a lot of rumors saying that JLo was the one who put down the down payment for that massive house that they bought. I wouldn't be surprised. Rumors say that Ben never liked the house, that it was too big, that it felt like a museum and blah, blah, blah. But he agreed to move into this house, this massive house that she bought for them. And when he got uncomfortable, he just left. He has always been doing what works for him. So I can imagine that even though they may have agreed, okay, we're not going to pull the trigger on the divorce, we're going to wait, we're going to solve our issues, resolve whatever we need to do in mediation, and when everything is solved, we're going to issue a joint statement. The fact that JLo didn't even want to wait to do that says to me that she is done doing things according to Ben's plan. And I think that's a good thing. I really believe I am the ultimate marriage equality absolutist. I believe that a marriage should be an equal partnership. I don't subscribe to the whole gender roles thing where the man is up here and the woman is down here. That doesn't work. It has never worked, and it will never work. So I believe that JLo was playing the little wifey role of, oh, I'm going to let him be the head of the household and he decides everything. And she realized, oh, well, that didn't work. And she's now fed up. I believe these two should have never gotten back together. We talked about this in previous videos about how they're not really that compatible. Jennifer is somebody who needs the spotlight. She needs the attention of the public. She needs to be sharing her personal life with the public. It is a pathological need that she has. And even though, according to Ben, he told her he did not want his life to be lived on the spotlight, that this time around they were not going to make a public spectacle of their relationship, she still went ahead and did it. Yes, Ben was uncomfortable with the spotlight, but every step of the way, he was there. He allowed her to put them out in the public like that, even though he said it was uncomfortable. And in the documentary, he made that now famous line where he says, if you're going to marry a boat captain, it's not fair for you to then say, you know what, I really don't like the water. So he was basically saying, I told her in the beginning, I didn't want us to be in the spotlight, but this is something that is a part of her brand. This is who she is. So I went along with this. And this is not healthy. That is not healthy. In the last couple of months that I've been making these videos analyzing their relationship, I was trying to find this quote that I remember distinctively reading him say in an interview where he said, when I am in a relationship, my toxic trait is that I let things slide. When you're doing something that bothers me, I don't say anything. I just let it accumulate and accumulate and accumulate until it overwhelms me, and then I have a reason to leave. Because you have pushed me to the point where I can't stand you anymore. I remember those weren't the exact words, but I remember that was the sentiment of what he said in that interview. And I don't know if it was scrubbed from the internet. If anybody remembers him saying this, please tell me in the comments below if you remember him saying this. But this is something that is very typical of people who are avoidant in relationships. Avoidants need an escape latch. And what Ben is basically saying, when talking about how avoidants behave in relationships, how they operate, how they behave, we need an escape latch to know that we are not trapped in something if after a while it doesn't feel right, or We just don't want to be here anymore. We need to have a reason. We don't want to be the bad guy who just leaves for no reason. So we need a reason to be able to look at and say, that's why I'm leaving. And this is what he does. He's a typical avoidant when it comes to relationship styles. Him participating in the public airing of their relationship by having his production company produce both films, the movie and the documentary that accompanied the movie. That was him saying, okay, I'll go along. I'll go along with this until I can't do it anymore. And then I'm going to throw it in your face. Didn't I say I didn't want a public relationship? So why did you go along with it? Because you knew you were on the way out. You already knew that you were on your way out, and you needed this as ammunition to say, I gave it my best shot, but you pushed me to the limit and I couldn't do this anymore. And what I would say to you, Ben, is what you said. Oh, if you marry a boat captain, you can then tell them that you don't like the water. That's exactly what you did. That's exactly what you did. You knew who this person was. You knew this was a boat captain, and you got on the boat and you stayed there and you were complicit. And then when you got tired of the high seas, you jumped overboard. You know what the solution is? If you don't like the water, you don't marry a boat captain. It's that simple. It's really not that complicated. And there's people who are going to listen to this and say, but what if you love the boat captain? Why not compromise? I'm sorry, but you're not going to get that advice here in this channel. I don't believe in that. This thing about compromising who you are to accommodate the person you love is a lose-lose situation. Because eventually you're either going to leave, or if you don't leave, you're going to be resentful for the rest of your lives. And it's not going to be fair to you, and it's not going to be fair to them. Now, there are little things that you can compromise on. But if there is something that is so fundamental, something that is a part of who you are, I hate having to have my private life in the public. I hate that. You don't get with somebody like Jennifer Lopez, who the only way she wants to have a relationship is in the public eye. She has made it very clear. She showed you 20 years ago. And over the years, he should have seen the signs. She never let go of this thing of wanting to show her relationship. She showed her relationship with A-Rod. She showed her relationship with Mark Anthony. The obscure husbands that she had, Chris Judd and what's his name? Casper Smart. She never married Casper, but they were in a relationship. And they were in the public. They were going on tour together. The woman can't help herself, and Ben knew this, but he used it to his advantage so he could then use it as his escape latch when he had enough of her. And this is where we are today. We're going to talk more about this in the future as these proceedings unfold. I think I believe this is going to turn into a really nasty war. And listen, if we can learn from other people's mistakes, that's the best way to learn. I in no way rejoice in the sadness of other people. I believe this whole situation has been sad, and that filing for divorce, JLo has kind of released some of the pressure. This is actually good for her. And it's actually what Ben wanted in the first place. Because in that interview that I mentioned, Ben not only said, you give me an excuse for me to leave, but you give me an excuse for me to be so unhappy that you have to leave me. Her filing for divorce was exactly what he wanted. And I think that in her little mind, she was probably thinking, I'm going to do it on our anniversary so he knows that I'm pissed. He doesn't care, JLo. Ben woke up this morning feeling lighter, like there was a 200-pound weight lifted off his shoulders. It's finally out in the open. We can finally move on with our lives. Maybe he's already moved on. I don't know. I don't know. But those photos, maybe this was a lady. Maybe this was an assistant or a nanny. Who knows? But I don't know. We will see. We will see in the future. But yeah, I just hope that they learn from this. JLo needs to be by herself. JLo needs to become the protagonist that she played in her movie. JLo did not play herself. She played a fantasy character that she fashioned as herself, as the woman who took time to love her inner child, to step away from the dating scene and just take time to love herself so that maybe then she can find true love. JLo has never done that. Now it's your chance, girl. Now it's the time to really do this. For real this time. Okay, and we will be back here with more videos on this. Please subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this. Please leave a like, please leave a comment, let me know what you think about this. If you remember that interview, please leave that information below so that we can go and look for it together. Share this video if you'd like to share it with others. Look at other videos. I'm gonna link, like I said, other videos that I have done on this topic below. I think there's so many life lessons that we can glean from these two people. And we wish them well. I really do. There's children involved, those poor kids. Now they gotta pick themselves up again and be like, okay, where are we going next? Where are we moving next? Pray for the kids. Pray for them too. Thank you once again for watching this video, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.